for Howard Fuller and all of the things that he's done and the courage that he's shown on issues facing our community over the years. I also wanted to use this opportunity to inject one idea, an opinion that I have on a policy issue, and that is on the W-2 program, which is the welfare reform in Wisconsin. I think there's a consensus in our community that we do want people to move away from dependence and into the world of work. And there are a lot of things that have been set up that may well work. I think there's been a sincere effort made by the state to try to make it work, particularly by improving the daycare component. But there's one component of it that is unnecessarily harsh and ineffective that could be easily changed and wouldn't cost the state money, and that is to have the people that get the community service portion of W-2, which is estimated to be about 75% of the people, for them to receive the minimum wage, pay payroll taxes, and be able to capture the federal earned income credit, which would give somebody just about enough money to survive with their children. They will not have enough money to survive with their children the way the program's set up right now. And this can be done in a way that actually doesn't cost any more than the current program. It's something that that is going to be a very important issue in the next 3-4 months, that this change be made. And for some families, it's a question of survival. And I just wanted to bring it up because I want people to think about it. I don't bring it up in a way that is critical of anybody that's in office, but what I'm trying to do is challenge the governor and the legislature to do the right thing so that when we have the King celebration next year, it is a celebration of people's ability to get out of dependence and into work, not a question of trying to find a way for people to survive. And I feel completely as if it's fine to say this today because I know it's in the spirit of what Dr. King would have said. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Norquist.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm going to help you with that 90 minutes. I'm going to take one. You know, it's a pleasure for me to be here. The Milwaukee branch is proud to be a part of this Dr. Martin Luther King occasion breakfast. We're glad that Sykes Community, American Family, and Warner Cable are supporting this. One of the things that we are proud of, very seldom do you ever get invited to something when the funds are going to go to you. This is the first time. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that. We intend to use the funds to help with the executive secretary that we're going to hire, also with the activities that have gone on for last year, plus we have a few new ones out there this year already. So we will be able to use those funds for that, and we appreciate the fact that Dr. Fuller is getting the award, so we want to say congratulations to him, and congratulations to all of you for attending. Thank you.
One of Milwaukee's great musical talents. Her name is Phoebe Hines, and she...
Good morning, everyone. The song that I chose to sing this morning is simply entitled Lead Me. And as I remember Dr. King, I'm sure sometime in his life, as the struggles got a little harder than he could bear, he had to ask the Lord to just lead him and direct him in the right path.
Please do
He believed in civil rights for all people and who was dedicated and gave his own life to a dream for all people. Few of us have the unwavering vision and the steadfast commitment to pursue the dream of change that Dr. King fervently sought. Each of us does, however, have the capacity to make a contribution to that dream by creating a dialogue of understanding. And no, I'm not going to pass the collection plate. But what I am going to do is ask each and every one of you to engage in a dialogue this morning. And I'd like to start that dialogue by having you stand up on your feet. Come on, stand up. I'd like you to find someone that you've never met, and when you find that person, extend your hand in friendship, introduce yourself, and ask them to keep the dream alive. Keep the dream alive. Keep the dream alive. Feels good and comfortable the next time. You see, the only way we'll keep the dream alive in Milwaukee or anywhere else is by reaching out and communicating one by one. So continue to keep the dream alive. I now have the privilege of introducing Don Rosette, who will introduce our Drum Major Award honoree this morning. Don is Vice President of Sykes Communication and General Manager of WMCS 1290 Radio. Don?
Thank you, Flamont. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I am delighted to introduce, or present, I should say, to most of you our honoree this morning, because I'm sure if you lived in Milwaukee for any length of time at all, you've met Dr. Fuller or have been exposed to some of the many good things he's done for this community. In August of 1995, Dr. Fuller joined the faculty at Marquette University as the Distinguished Professor of Education and Director of the Institute for the Transformation of Learning, a national education forum. This position also affords him the opportunity to teach and advise doctoral students. In addition, he is currently a senior fellow with the Annenberg Institute, Decentralized Authority and Support for Equity in Funding for Public Education at the state governmental level. Dr. Fuller received his BS degree in sociology from Carroll College in 1962 and his doctorate degree in sociological foundations of education from Marquette University in 1986. Dr. Fuller's numerous awards and acknowledgments include Honorary Doctorate of Humane Letters from Carroll College in 1987, Honorary Doctorate of Laws from Marion College in 1990. Please help me welcome Dr. Fuller.
The 90 minutes by keeping this relatively brief. And for me, that's difficult. But first of all, I want to thank Sykes Communication, Warner Cable, and American Family for establishing this breakfast and giving me this particular honor. I also want to thank God for allowing me to be here and allowing all the rest of you to be here as well. I want to express my respect to Mr. Cheney, who I've known for a long time. And I'm pleased to share this program in a way with them, with him and the NAACP, even though we do disagree on issues related to what ought to happen in Milwaukee with our children. But it is a respectful disagreement, because the respect that I have for Mr. Cheney goes deeper than any disagreement that we might have on policy. And I would hope that, we would find a way in our community to have disagreements around ideas without having to try to destroy each other in the process. I want to also thank my mother, who would be here, but she is recuperating from cataract surgery, and we were with her yesterday, and I know she would be here were it not for that. I want to thank my wife for being here. People ask me what are the good things that happened to you in the past year or so, and the best thing that happened to me was getting married to Dr. Deborah McGriff, and so I appreciate her being here. And I want to thank my children who are not able to be here. 3 of our children are in New York. Kelly, my oldest daughter, and Miata, my youngest daughter, and Jacqueline McGriff, my newest daughter, and my son, Malcolm, who is hopefully working today, and my other son, Evander, who's in Newport News, Virginia. We're really proud of our kids, and so proud that December 20th, they talked me into going to see Alvin Ailey dances in New York. We took the 3 daughters out. I'm not into dancing and stuff, that's what's funny. But anyway, I'm really proud of them, and I enjoy myself. I also want to thank all of my friends. I have all kinds of friends in this room. You know, you get to a certain age and you have to admit you've been friends with somebody for 40 years, and you're like, oh my God. But, you know, it's a fact. I mean, I got people sitting over at the table like Harry Oden and James Kimball. You know, we played basketball together. And the person who's most responsible for a lot of the ways I am as a teacher, everybody remembers some teacher that really had an impact on them. Well, the teacher who had an impact on me is sitting over there. His name is Vic Anderson. He also sort of masqueraded as a basketball coach. But, you know, people talk about these basketball coaches that are mean. There's the prototype over there, you know, but it's always good to see him. And he comes to everything, you know, and we really appreciate it, and I love him, and I just want him to know that. I also want to thank all of the colleagues that I've had an opportunity to work with over these years. One of the things about having a lot of different jobs is you have a lot of people that you've worked with. So I want to thank all of them. And I want to thank all of the, what I call like comrades in struggle, people who've been involved with me over all of these years and all these different struggles that we've been involved in. The Coalition to Save North Division, Coalition for Justice for Ernest Lacey, Concerned Citizens for Quality Education for Black Children, Crusade to Save Our Children, the Black Student Union at MATC, the Black Political Network, and the North Lincoln Alumni. All of these are entities that have had a direct impact on my life, and also one of the reasons why I'm up here receiving this award. Because all of you know that whenever you get an individual award for works, it isn't about an individual. It's about a community. It's about a collective of people who've been involved in various ways. I also want to thank this community. Milwaukee has given me tremendous opportunities over all of these years, beginning, of course, with North Division, but it's all of the opportunities I've had to work for the county, for MATC, for the state, the Milwaukee Public School System. It was a tremendous honor to be the superintendent of Milwaukee Public Schools. And one of the individuals that you never hear about who helped me through all of this is sitting right here, Helen Wallace, whose quote was my secretary, but more than that, she was my friend. And she was the one who, in some of those darkest days up there in that office, and there are a lot of them up there, she was always there, and I deeply appreciate that. And then Marquette University, which has given me an opportunity to work there twice. So you know, I sort of came around back to Marquette, and I deeply appreciate it. So, I mean, I can't thank everybody, but I'm trying to thank everybody that I can to let you know how much I appreciate it. My mentors, particularly Mr. Wesley Scott and Mr. Starnes and Cloyce Burns. The last two are no longer with us, but these were men who helped me understand what you're supposed to be out here and how you're supposed to function in the community. And I carry their memories with me, and Mr. Scott is still here every day telling me when I'm doing something wrong. He only claims me when I do stuff right. Let me just say that I take all awards seriously. I've been very fortunate in my life to receive a lot of awards, but I particularly take an award in the name of Martin Luther King seriously. And some of you all may know that I gave one of them back. I received an award from, John wasn't the mayor then, Meyer was the mayor. And they gave me an award in the name of Dr. Martin Luther King, and a year later I gave it back. And I gave it back because I don't think you can run around giving awards in the name of Martin Luther King and not function in a way that respects that. And at that point in time, the city was not respecting that. So I gave it back. And it's hard to realize now, but that at that time, and John Norquist knows about this because he was one of the first ones to raise it, there were no black people in charge of anything in the city. This wasn't this is not ancient history. This was not a long time ago. John was one of the first ones to ever raise that with Mayor Meyer. And I felt that, you know, when you get an award like that, then you gotta be prepared to do better by the poor citizens. You gotta be prepared to make changes so that the people who suffer, that there's some help for them. If you're not prepared to do that, don't be giving no awards in the name of Martin Luther King. And that's just how I feel, you know, about this. And so I just want everybody to know that when I take these awards like that, I take it seriously. Because it says to me, you gotta get this award and you gotta go out and you gotta work harder. And that's sort of where I'm coming from. And so I wanna give you kind of the words of two people that are connected. Obviously, one of them is going to be Martin Luther King, but the other is W.E.B. Du Bois. And I'm going to use these words to sort of make a couple points, and then I'm going to sit down. W.E.B. Du Bois said that the Negro is a sort of seventh son, born with a veil and gifted with second sight in this American world, a world which yields him no true self-consciousness, but only lets him see himself through the revelation of the other world. It is a peculiar sensation, this double consciousness, this sense of always looking at oneself through the eyes of others, of measuring one's soul by the tape of a world that looks on in amused contempt and pity. One feels his two-ness, in America, a Negro, two souls, two thoughts, two warring ideals in one dark body, whose dogged strength alone keeps it from being torn asunder. That's in the souls of black folks. This next one is by Martin Luther King. Being a Negro in America is not a comfortable existence. It means being a part of the company of the bruised, the battered, and the scarred, and the defeated. Being a Negro in America means trying to smile when you want to cry. It means trying to hold on to physical life amidst psychological death. It means the pains of watching your children grow up with clouds of inferiority in their mental skies. It means having your legs cut off and then being condemned for being crippled. It means seeing your mother and your father spiritually murdered by the slings and arrows of daily exploitation and then being hated for being an orphan. Being a Negro in America means listening to suburban politicians talk eloquently against open housing while arguing in the same breath that they're not racist. It's being harried by day and haunted by night, by a nagging sense of nobodiness and constantly fighting to be saved from the poison of bitterness. It means the ache and anguish of living in so many situations where hopes unborn have died. You know, people like to honor Dr. King, but we like to sanitize him. And the further we get away from the struggles that led him, the more sanitized he becomes. And we got all these people running around talking about his dream. His dream was our nightmare. And the reality of it is that the conditions that we're facing today, poor people are still suffering. Still suffering. And there is nothing redeeming about being poor. The only people that tell you that that's all right are people who got money. Nobody who's poor waxes eloquently about how great it is to be that way. And so when you honor King and you come to breakfasts and all of this for King, you got to remember what he stood for. And he stood for change. He stood for making a difference for the people who have the least. And so when you read his words, there are two ways. People say, well, but why do you want to keep bringing this up? We have a nice little ceremony. We have a nice little breakfast. You know, I feel good. And here you are talking about this stuff. I'm talking about this stuff because the historical condition is still a contemporary reality. I'm talking about this stuff because it's a historical truth that's still embedded in truth and reality today. And we ain't far from it. It's like we sitting up in here and it's all nice and stuff. Think about these kids out there who today don't have no breakfast. Because school's closed, they don't get nothing. They don't live far from here. You know? These kids who it was cold a couple days ago, do you know that still in 1997, we have children who come to school with Wonder Bread wrappers on their feet for boots? And so we are running around, you know, embracing Martin Luther King's image. But it's not the image, it's a struggle that has to be embraced. And so when you come out to these breakfasts for them, it means you got to go back and say, we ought not to have children coming to school with Wonder Bread wrappers on their feet for boots in America in 1997. So that, for me, this is what this is about. And so when you listen to what Du Bois had to say, and you listen to what King had to say about black people, there are two ways we can react. One is we can fall into complacency, acceptance, apathy, bitterness, blame everybody, and do nothing. Or what we can do is we can fight. We can say that those of us who have it, we're going to reach back each day to try to pull somebody with us who doesn't have it. You know, because a lot of us, and I'm talking black people now, a lot of us get these jobs and stuff and get all sedity and blizzy. You know, all you Negroes who get these jobs and you get a job and you just glad to be there. It ain't that you're gonna do nothing, you just happy to be there. just grinning. You know, the ones that, you know, you come to these Negroes and you say, well, look, I mean, can you do something for us? Well, you know, I just got here. You know, God, give me a little time to see what's happening. Then you come back to them, well, you know, I just got a promotion, so, you know, you got to give me a little bit of time. Then you come back to them, well, you know, I'm about to retire. So you know, I'm telling you that when you be talking about honoring King, it's about a willingness to struggle. It's about if you get to a place on high, it ain't about looking down, it's about getting down to help people get up. That's what this is about. And so I call on all of you all to just understand that we got to fight, that our children need us. That our children need us. And we're going to disagree, and I'm going to fight, and you know, but you have to understand that my belief is that there are no institutions out here that are more important than the children. And so if we got to change these institutions, out here fighting for people who have nothing. That's what this is all about. And so I just leave you with this. You know, when I was getting ready to come to this, some of y'all know I'm a little part-time DJ. I've been trying to get on 1290, you know, to run my stuff one night, you know. When I was coming here, I had to find the right song to get me in the mood. So I picked out Arrested Development. And it's the one that didn't make it, Ziggledoom or something like that I can't pronounce. But y'all ought to check this CD out. It's deep. That's why I didn't make it, because it's too deep. You know what I'm saying? It ain't all of that claptrap. I mean, they talk about real stuff. And on this CD, there's a cut called Pride. And what I want to leave you with is the words of Arrested Development. What they said was, because I exist, I resist. And because I am alive, I strive. Thank you very much.
Well, I said this would be an exciting and memorable breakfast, and I think I'll add to that inspiring. There are a few people who can bring a message of challenge and certainly of hope to an audience like Dr. Fuller. And we certainly thank you for being here today and for remaining an outspoken advocate for children as well as a catalyst for change in Milwaukee. You are truly a spark in a community that needs a spark. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Ray Sykes, President of Sykes Communications, who will present the award to Dr. Fuller.
Thank you for my. I'd like to thank everybody for coming this morning. I'd like to thank the mayor for also coming. I'd like to thank Ms. Hines for her lovely voice and the beautiful song that she's given us this morning. But most of all, like I said, I'd like to thank Dr. Fuller for being a part of our program and delivering that very inspiring message that he just delivered. I'm very touched by that. Dr. Martin Luther King was one of my most favorite people in the whole wide world. So Dr. Fuller, on behalf of American Family Insurance, Warner Cable, and Sykes Communications, we present to you the Drum Age Award and the second annual Dr. Martin Luther King Day Breakfast. Thank you very much. You know, this is our second year hosting this breakfast. Hopefully, we'll be as fortunate as the folks back in my hometown in Houston, Texas. We have this breakfast every year. This is about the 15th year. This year, we have about 1,500 people that's attending as I speak. Possibly could have had more if they had the room. But each year, the breakfast has grown and grown and grown to this enormous number. And everybody look forward to going to this breakfast every year. Hopefully, next year we'll be able to do something even bigger and make this breakfast a bigger success than what it is. And hopefully we'll be able to continue to find honorable people like our guest this morning to receive these awards. And we will continue to try to give the proceeds for these awards to very needy groups. I would like to, at this time, present a plaque of our appreciation, a token of our appreciation to American Family Insurance for their sponsorship and their many contributions to helping make this program successful. I also have a token of our gratitude and appreciation for Warner Cable Communications. Thank you.
Well, thanks so much to our sponsors and also to Mr. Sykes Communications. And thank you most of all to you, Dr. Fuller. I'm sure I expressed the sentiments of everyone here this morning in extending our sincere congratulations on a tremendous honor. We wish you continued success. With that, I'd like to ask Phoebe Hines to return for another musical selection.
Any accomplishments made by Dr. Fuller, Dr. Martin Luther King, any great people, they would say, don't give me the glory, give it to God, because without Him, we're nothing. There's a scripture that says, not by might, not by power, but it's by my spirit, says the Lord. This thing you've done for me, and never hope to be, I will owe to thee. God be the glory, to God be the glory, God be the glory for the things He's done. Any praise, let it go to Calvary with His blood. He saved
got a feeling. Whew. Well, as you may have noticed, we've made a few adjustments in our program today, both in the interest of time and the interest of bringing you back to us next year. I'd especially like to thank Elliot Cohen with American Family Insurance and Jackie Jans with Warner Cable for having allowed us to move our program along this morning. Before I bring Pastor Dukes up to deliver the benediction, I'd like to share just a very quick and final story with you. It's about a little boy who lived on the side of a valley, and he became angry with his mother one day. So he ran out into the valley, and he yelled at the top of his lungs, "I hate you."